Okay, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. Sorry for the lateness. Some of us were in another uh, room, actually. So, um, so I think we're all switching over to the same space, I guess, now. But anyhow, welcome to Medicine Buddha tonight. Welcome to those who are new to the space. If you're new, you can introduce yourself in the space, or rather in the chat box. We are, or rather, this is just a guided practice, um, focusing on different aspects of the Medicine Buddha uh, tradition, theme, or scope of the Medicine Buddha practice. So welcome. As usual, please, if you have any questions, those questions can go in the Ask a Question section down at the bottom of your screen. And prayer requests can go into the chat box as well. So again, welcome everyone coming in, joining us for the first time. So awesome. Yeah. So hope everyone's doing well or relatively well, and I hope that the practice is continuing to support all of you. I am back from Tucson, Arizona, I was out speaking with, or at the University of Arizona in the Fox Theater, talking about compassion. I see someone has put that link in the chat. That was really my first live teaching, in-person teaching since pandemic began. So it was really nice to be in front of people, big crowd, the Fox Theater. And maybe some of you are joining me in December for the retreat at Southern Dharma up in outside of Asheville, North Carolina. That's going to be December 2nd through the 5th. So that's coming up, and of course there's many protocols to be in the space. So I'm excited. I will also be offering like a 1 day online retreat in December, right before Christmas. Tentatively set for December 18th, and this is like a general 1 day online thing, with the theme being something around managing the energies of the holidays and being with family and so forth. If you are on Bumi Sparsha's email list or my personal email list at Lama Rod, you'll get that as soon as we announce it. So awesome. So I was really happy to be in Tucson, where I met Shelly. Shelly's already giving some shout outs. It was really quite a beautiful experience. I wore really cute shoes. I actually had a really cute outfit on, which, makes an event go, a lot smoother for me. But I was so deeply impressed and moved by the medicine and the power of the land. And I mean, the medicine of the land is so powerful, the plant medicine of the land, and the power of the ceremonies that are still done on the land really was like quite moving. And when I talk about medicine Buddha, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about how the world is inherently full of medicine, right? And from a tantric perspective, everything is medicine. Even the things that we don't think are medicine are actually medicine, because they're actually teaching us something really important about how to get free, right? How to experience liberation. When we don't connect to the medicine of whatever it is in this phenomenal reality that we're encountering, we're missing an opportunity, right? And particularly the medicine from suffering, from heartbreak, from violence. Like there's tremendous medicine happening, right? And that's what we're practicing. We're practicing how to drink deeply from the medicine that's always around us and inside of us, right? And that is the spirit of the Medicine Buddha tradition. To drink deeply from the world, like not to see the world as chaos, but to see the world as manifesting from this kind of this emptiness, right? This inherent spaciousness, openness, right? It's everything in the phenomenal world is arising from that, right? And what our practice is leading us to is into a direct relationship with that basic essence, right? As we would say in Tantra, that one taste. That's the medicine, right? That's the medicine connecting us to that one taste. When we taste the essence of everything, we start getting free, right? And when we start embodying that medicine beyond just a basic realization, but when we become that realization, then that is the experience of awakening, of enlightenment, right? And so when I was out in Tucson, one of the other things that was so important for me to reflect on is how, and we've talked about this before in other sessions, how the local deities, so when I say local deities, I mean like the worldly deities who are connected to a particular place, right? Or they're connected to a particular community, or a particular structure or land formation. Deities who they're connected to location, is what I call local deities, right? You don't see those deities necessarily anywhere else except in that location, right? But how the local deities, and this has been true across many communities, places around the world impacted by colonization, which is like almost everywhere. But how local deities, in a really skillful attempt to take on the appearance, the performance, the embodiment of the deities that are kind of being forced on the people connected to the land, right? So basically what I mean, when I was in Tucson, I was just reflecting on how the local deities began to take on the form of Catholic saints, and how a lot of powerful deities, particularly female manifesting deities, take on the appearance of a Virgin Mary, and which is why I think we have so many different manifestations of the Virgin Mary. And I remember several years ago, when I was teaching in Barcelona, I was able to take a trip out to Montserrat, which is a sacred mountain outside of Barcelona, where the black Madonna is housed. And it's like top of like this, in this mountain range or mountain. And you go up, you drive up, and you can hike a lot of it as well. You go up into this really beautiful shrine, just Catholic church, cathedral. um, to kind of sit with this image of the Black Madonna, the Black Virgin, and I've not been raised Catholic, but that image and the power for me, it's not just this manifestation of Mary, but it's also this embodiment of all the of powerful local deities who are taking on that form, the Black Madonna, in that sacred space, right? So as like I'm, so fascinated by the skillfulness, and it reveals a kind of interrelatedness and interconnectedness of different pantheons, of deities across traditions. Like there's not, as I have come to believe a while ago, is that like there's not this clear separation and distinction across pantheons, right? That Hindu saints, and Catholic saints can be quite similar, that these great saints that have emerged across different spiritual traditions, I think have certainly, I think, been connected to other traditions, other spiritual paths, right? Like you say Jesus, came to India and studied Buddhism. I don't know, if that's true, but what I feel is that Jesus was more than Jewish, that his practice encompassed so much about and related to the true nature of reality, right? I just find that extremely moving. And it helps me to develop this kind of interfaith or intrafaith perspective, right? And it's helped me to really understand the power and the value of all paths that are about, based on, this kind of liberation, based on compassion and love and reduction of violence. Like those particular paths, how skillful they can be, yeah. So this is like, I guess, overall what I'm trying to say is that there is the phenomenal world is much more expansive and fluid than what we imagine, right? And after a while, it begins to be normal, right? It becomes normal that there's such a fluidity in and throughout so many paths, in this world, that there are these beings that are working skillfully to manifest in ways that we can relate to. That's the path of the Bodhisattva in Buddhism. It's the skillful means of getting people free, right? As Malcolm X said, by any means necessary, and I would say that is also the heart in the Bodhisattva tradition, is that, by any means we're trying to get free, because samsara, which I call the carceral state, is, it's, what's a good word? Intense. It's not even like a strong enough word. It's like, samsara, the carceral state, is just really, overwhelming in a way, right? And to meet that intense energy, the spiritual saint has to get overwhelming, right? Like you have to meet intensity with intensity, but the intensity that the spiritual saint, the Bodhisattva, offers is just this embodied fierce compassion and love for all phenomena, right? You meet the confusion of samsara with love and compassion, not with anger, aggression, frustration. You meet it with a deep love that helps you first and foremost to get free from attachment to samsara. Then that detachment becomes an example for other beings to emulate. So we have to see people getting free for us to believe in the potential to get free, or in the reality of freedom. So there's a lot of skillfulness happening around us, particularly concerning the unseen world. And I guess overall that's what I felt from my visit in Tucson, that like the world is not just the world, but there are beings who are working extremely skillfully, including plants, who I feel are conscious as well. It's a form of consciousness, who are also working really skillfully to free us. But because of the ways in which we're so disconnected from the land, we've lost so much of this vital connection to plant consciousness, right? And this is so much of what my personal work has been, this past 2 years. Like I really have been deepening my relationship to plant consciousness, to, not just through plant medicines, but through, growing, tending to plant life, deepening relationship to the earth, to the land. And, and of course I'm attempting to write about this in the book as well. And just to give a few steps for us that we can incorporate into our practice to connect deeper to the earth. And I mean, this is a lot of what we've been doing lately. Okay. So I'm going to get into practice. We are continuing with abundance practice, and so you can go back into the recordings, and this will be the third or fourth, probably the fourth practice on abundance. An abundance related to the fall, right? We've just moved through a big ceremony, weekends, Day of the Dead, Samhain, Halloween. A period where different traditions celebrate their connection to the ancestors, because we believe that the veil between the unseen world and the seen world of form, the world of form, has thinned. I don't know why. I'm sure there's like some astrological, stuff behind that. But to take this time this weekend to really honor the unseen world and to make offerings, and I did fire pujas. We did practice yesterday, Tara practice for ancestors, and we're going to continue a little bit of that, but we're going to focus on this energy of abundance, because fall, autumn, is the harvest, right? And you don't actually have to wait till fall to practice abundance and harvest. This is energy that we can draw on, like I was saying earlier, that the world is full of medicine, and what we're training ourselves to do is to learn how to tap into that medicine that's always available for us, right? Again, the expression of the traditional medicine Buddha is getting us to understand, that even the harvest, the gathering, the harvesting is medicine for us, right? And we're working with some of our habitual resistance to taking what we need to be well. And of course, some of that is also related to, first of all, figuring out what we need to be well, right? So as we begin, So we'll just begin again with the similar reflection we've been doing for the past few sessions, which is again reflecting on what do you need right now? What do you need right now? And if you can't figure out what you need, then the question, the aspiration becomes, please show me what I need. Please reveal to me what I need. So just a few moments, right? What do you need? Or please reveal to me what I need. Just a few more moments. And if you're connecting to a need, just holding the energy of that need just in your mind. And let's focus on one need right now. So like your primary need, I would say, is what we're focusing on. Now let's go just a little further. And I invite you to reflect on all the other beings in the world who may need what you need right now. So this is just simply just opening and saying I and others, many others, I would say even countless others, need what I need. And to connect to that is to connect to a community of beings. So a sense of belonging, a way that we disrupt isolation. So I and all these other beings need this as well. Okay. So let's move a little deeper into practice. So we're going to come back this reflection, but let's move deeper into practice, shifting our attention to just to our seat, noticing the weight of our body, making contact with the seat. And what helps us to go deeper now is to actually begin to trust the seat to hold us. Trusting the seat to hold you. So when we're able to trust is something that we let go of. We let go of a lot of holding, some tension, anxiety. So letting the seat hold you, allowing the body to really be held. Letting yourself be held. So even the seat can express care. Right? The seat can express care. If you want to go just a little bit further, and this can be just an experiment, I wonder if you can actually connect to the energy of care that the seat is expressing or radiating. Just see what that work leads to, that practice leads to, connecting to how the seat is caring for you. And this helps us to move into what I call more of a kind of an indigenous worldview of phenomena. That the world is alive. That everything is alive and expressing energy. Because everything is energy. So I often say that the world is trying to love us. Well, the seat, be it a chair, a couch, or the floor, whatever it is still expressing care. It's holding you. Everything is caring for you. Even, the space that you're in is caring for you. If you have water or something to drink with you, that's caring for you. Your beverage is caring for you. So connecting, moving past this aversion, breaking through to this radiance of care and love from all phenomena. So when you're ready, shifting your attention even lower, touching into the earth. Right? So if you're new to this practice, it's just our attention, our capacity to focus and to be aware how that focus, that attention is connecting, touching down into the earth. So when our attention touches into the earth, our attention is touching the energetic expression of the earth, of the land. And letting the land, the earth, touch you back. Or rather touch your attention first. And taking a few moments just to explore that. What does it mean for my attention to touch into the earth? And what does it mean for the earth, right? This energetic expression of the earth to touch my attention back. So just here for just a few more moments. And then we're going to move just a little further. And so instead of your attention touching the earth, I want you to expand that attention into awareness and letting your awareness, your unbound awareness, begin to mingle with the energy of the earth. So it's not that your attention is touching the earth, it's now that your awareness, which is much more expansive, much more open than just your attention, begins to spread into the earth, mingling with the earth, the energy of the earth itself. So your awareness and the earth actually become one expression. That your awareness is the earth. And how is this grounding you? How is this settling you? Bringing your awareness into the earth instead of it being so high above us. And to move even further, I wonder if you can feel the richness, not notice, but feel. Can you feel the richness, the harvest? Can you feel the medicine of the earth? You know, if you're feeling grounded, you're already experiencing the medicine. What else is the earth trying to show you? And what are some of the kind of images or visualizations or visions that arise for you when you get curious about the richness of the earth? And one thing that may be helpful for us in this practice is understanding that the earth isn't depleted. We're depleted. We're the ones who are depleted. The earth isn't depleted. The earth isn't dead or dying. The earth is still full of vibrancy and energy and richness. And so when we're connecting, letting go of this idea that we're taking away from the richness of the earth, or that the earth isn't full of this richness, because it is. So moving beyond that and just really connecting, feeling, becoming aware of the richness, the inherent richness of the earth itself. Because if the earth were as depleted as some of us think, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to sustain life. The earth is much more than what you can see, or touch, or taste, or feel. There's a whole other expression of the earth, of the land, which again arises from the nature of all phenomena, the nature of all reality. That is the ultimate source of energy. Is the nature of things, that emptiness and space and energy. So if you're able to practice with the breath, so we're going to move into some breath work, some pranayama. And we're going to return to first our earth breathing practice, which will begin by shifting our attention to the base of the spine, which is where we connect to the root chakra connecting us to the earth. And if you're not able to really work with the breath, just continue to move with us and don't focus on the breath. And just always staying with the part of the practice that's most appropriate for you. So turning your attention to the base of the spine, beginning to breathe in and out the base of the spine. In and out. So now shifting that inhale and exhale vertically, so going up and down. We begin to imagine that we're inhaling from the earth itself into the base of the spine. So we're inhaling the energy of the earth, the richness, the vibrancy into the base of the spine. And if you're not with the breath, just imagining that the energy of the earth begins to rise up, into the base of the spine. So either or is fine. Just a few more moments here. So breathing up and just inhaling right now. I'm sorry, just exhaling. We'll get to the exhale next. One more breath. Okay, so in the next exhale, we're going to do our internal exhale. So breathing into the base of the spine, imagining that we're exhaling the energy of the earth into the rest of the body. So it's like we're beginning to be filled up like a balloon, right? Slowly and steadily. And if you're not with the breath, just imagining that from the base of the spine, this energy of the earth begins to rise up into the body like steam rising from something hot. Just that energy radiating up into the body. Just a few more moments here. So we're going to slowly begin to move into the first part of our mantra practice. But before we do that, we're just going to go just a little bit further in this practice before we begin. So moving forward now, I invite you to begin to alternate every other exhale. Okay, so the first exhale is breathing up, exhaling up into the body, the energy of the earth. And then on the second exhale, I want you to imagine that you're breathing down into the earth. The things, the obstacles, the situations, circumstances that you feel are keeping you from getting this basic need met that we've identified earlier. And if you are holding an aspiration to figure out what you need, even imagine breathing that aspiration down into the earth is helpful. So again, if you're not working with the breath, just imagining just sending down these obstacles that get in the way, or the aspiration to get what you need, or to understand what you need. So just holding steady with the earth, with the seat, letting the earth take care of you. Letting the earth slowly invite you back into the body, and allowing the earth to move you deeper into its essence, to hold you. The mantra will appear in the chat box, and this is optional to chant along. But our mantra practice begins to energize and imbue the practice with the consciousness, the enlightened intention of Medicine Buddha, who is not necessarily a worldly deity, but a wisdom deity, or deity that arises out of the essence of reality to help us. Alright, so we'll begin. O te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze ma begenze, rasa sumunga tis oa. Te aha taum begenze, begenze So we're going to go a little bit further now. And again, connecting to this need or the aspiration for needs to be revealed. I invite you just to sit in the practice and imagine, feel what it would be like to get that need met. What would it feel like? Just imagine, okay, what would it feel like? And let that energy begin to mingle with the energy of the earth. And let that both of those mingling energies begin to really fill up the body. Alright? So beginning to really deeply feel that energy of your needs met, or even if you're working with aspiration, what would it be like to figure out what you need? What would that feel like to finally figure out what you need? Alright, so we continue. Om So we're just gonna go take this last shift deeper into the practice, and we're gonna turn our attention to our prayer requests. And so as we move into the next part of the mantra, after I offer the prayers, you can imagine that we begin to radiate this energy into the lives and the situations of those prayers that have been offered. And alternatively, you can also, for those of you who are really praying for something, holding that prayer in your heart center, and imagining that this energy that we've been cultivating begins to actually saturate the heart center, and so that energy, that positive energy, is actually moving deeper into the situation, that you're praying for, moving into the lives of those you're praying for, right? And for other prayer requests that we're offering, just imagining that this energy just begins to radiate into the situations, the lives of those we've offered. So we're going to have just two more short mantra practices. This next one being prayer requests, and we're going to move one more time into another expression of the energy. But for now, I want to just offer the prayers. And again, we offer these prayers to all the benevolent beings around us who are here protecting us, guiding us, trying to liberate us, all the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, the protectors, the guardians, the angels, the saints, all authentic expressions of teachers and guides. We offer these prayers to the earth and all the elements. We offer these prayers to Medicine Buddha. And we offer these prayers to the totality of the phenomenal world. That our prayers begin to shape the phenomenal world and direct the phenomenal world. Into creating the outcomes, the conditions that we most want to see to benefit beings. We offer these prayers first for Shava Bali, Shaya Eisenberg, the Hara Sugarman, Sherilyn Pitt, Martha Ellington, and Eringhaus, and for Jeff's eye surgeries. We continue to offer prayers for Margaret Hilpert, who died suddenly 3 weeks ago, and her entire extended family and friends. We offer prayers for Miss Major as she undergoes surgery. We offer prayers for Angel, who is back in Rikers Island. May he be safe and protected, and may all those navigating incarceration be safe and free from harm and out as soon as possible. We're offering prayers for those that have to ask for money on a daily basis and those living on the streets. We're offering prayers for Anzi and her surgery tomorrow. May she be supported and receive what she needs. We're offering prayers for Christine and family, that they get the money and resources they need to be well and safe. We continue to offer prayers for Alex and Laura. We offer prayers for Evan and prayers for my dad. May they both get their needs met. We're offering prayers for those who are recovering. Bruce from surgery, Bobby from a fracture, Lama Noang Tinley from an auto accident, for John from brain surgery, for those who have recently died, for Robert, John, Robin, Sue Ann, Marianne, Leo, and Willie. Prayers for my niece Samantha, who has struggled for many years with addiction, and prayers for my upcoming eye surgeries. Offering prayers for Mandy and her continued sobriety. Offering prayers for my father, who is recovering from surgery, and Monica, who continues to heal. We're offering prayers for my dad, who needs a miracle to help him survive a rare heart condition. Offering prayers for Julian Harmon, who is in late-stage pancreatic cancer. Help him to accept his part in the process and ease into the care around him. Offering prayers for my nibbling family, ex, and co-worker who are going through a difficult time and experiencing health issues. I'd like to offer prayers for my uncle, Don, who will be undergoing serious heart surgery next month. And continue to offer prayers for all beings, that we all may achieve enlightenment, freedom as quickly as possible. And I pray that we all continue to move through the heartbreak and the anxiety and the despair that many of us are so overwhelmed by, that we begin to touch into the true natures of our minds and our hearts. I continue to pray for all beings, particularly all deities, all saints, all gurus and teachers, to really touch this world, to offer support and guidance as we move through this intense evolution. May we all be free. May we all have what we need. As we go back into the mantra, letting that energy that we've been cultivating radiate into all the prayer requests, into the lives of those around us. Letting this energy radiate like we were stars, like Tara, the star that guides us towards liberation. Become the star that guides beings needing help, support, love, and freedom. Be the star that guides them in this moment. Even if we need help too, we still become the star. As we seek our own help, we become help for others. That we become the medicine. O te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te soa. Te ata begenze, begenze, ma begenze, rasa sumunga te just one more move forward, and this is optional. And I invite you to begin to radiate this energy, this light, into the spirit world, the bardo, beginning to benefit all those who are passing through into the bardo, who are in the bardo, also beginning to radiate this light into our line of ancestors. Imagining that this energy, this light begins to heal them, to alleviate whatever keeps them from evolving, from moving on. And this light begins to purify any obstacles that keep them bound in suffering. And offering this final blessing of light and healing and medicine into the whole world, both the seen and unseen world. Making a final prayer that all of us, all beings, all phenomena is freed from the illusion of the carceral state of samsara. Shifting our attention now back to the seat, noticing the weight of our bodies, making contact with the seat, allowing your attention to drift down. Breathing, taking a few deep breaths, and as you exhale, imagining directing the exhale down through the body, down into the earth, to keep pulling our attention, our awareness lower and lower. When you're ready, just beginning to do some simple movements to awaken the body. Do some stretching, some head rolling, shoulder rolls, some stretching upward. And one thing that we can visualize is imagining that we're just like standing or sitting under a waterfall of energy, letting that energy just kind of wash through us in a way to kind of settle, kind of steady us. Of course, letting that energy move down through the body into the earth, again connecting to the earth. So to close up our time tonight, so we're gonna dedicate the energy of our practice through our closing prayer from Shantideva, from the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, a guide to a Bodhisattva's Way of Life. That's appearing right in the chat box. We're gonna recite this 3 times together. Okay, here we go. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Finally, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Okay. All right. Thank you all for your practice. I just see one question here. Do you have a website? Yes. So Karen will post that up for us, but it's lamarod.com. Um, so thank you everyone for your practice, and let's see what else is happening this week. Everything that's happening this week with Women's Spa is on the website. And next week we'll be practicing. Next week we're going to be practicing next Monday, and then I'm going to be back on retreat. So for the last I guess 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So you'll get an announcement about the exact dates, and then we'll pick back up in December. Right, but until then, we have the recordings and so forth. Of course, there may be something else that emerges as well. And the first, so I'm gonna be away for 3. So the 15th, 22nd, and the first Monday in December. Then after that, we'll be back on. When you use the word earth, whether you include, I'm in a city and found myself considering much that is below me. The earth, the element of the earth, not necessarily the things found in the earth, like various things. I'm talking about just the pure basic manifestation of the earth element itself. And even if we are in a city, like New York, for instance, the earth is still alive. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I think that's it for me. So thank you, everyone. Please be well, and I'll see you next week. Okay. Thank you, everyone.